So welcome, Aysha, to some visionaries.
I did tell the doctor that I wanted to try it naturally, and he practically laughed in my face. He said, "What are you going to do? Take herbs?" I only work with women who've been struggling. So women who have got, low AMH or poor egg quality or endometriosis, because that's where my expertise lies.
Well, that takes courage, can I say? That's like the hard basket for many people. That was sad enough. But the husband then unfortunately committed suicide a couple of years after that. So we lost a beautiful couple. Oh my God, I'm feeling quite emotional. Yeah. Because they couldn't fall pregnant.
It's awful because that's all you're yearning for, and everyone around you is falling pregnant. And I remember on my journey, I lost my light and I lost my joy. I wasn't this version of me that you see now, because a lot of kids are being born not healthy now in this day and age.
Even just with ADHD and autism, like the rates are just horrendous.
It's funny because most of the women that I have in my program, their doctors have written them off. They've been told that they can't have children altogether, and then they get pregnant.
And they get pregnant?
Yes.
Yes, well I've only got one left, but I don't know what to save it for. This is all part of the podcast. We've gone in different tangents and directions, and that's all good because it's all authentic and real, and that's what we want to keep it at. So welcome, Aysha, to some visionaries. All right, let's just go. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. A disclaimer to start, I do know you. So if people think, wow, Becca's actually really friendly with this woman, we do know each other. So I think we should point that out. Thank you so much for being my first guest.
I'm excited to be here, my lovely, and it's an honor to be invited. So thank you.
You're so welcome. So glad to have you here. All right, well, let's get started. Can you please tell me what a fertility coach actually does?
Yes, so a fertility coach is somebody who works with women to help them improve reach their health goals through, diet and lifestyle choices. So it's like a health coach, but it's somebody who specializes in, women's health and fertility.
And how did you get into it?
So when I went through my own fertility journey. That's how I got into this. So when I was 37, I started trying to conceive. And the first year I was just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, relax and it will happen. And then I went to the doctors for something random. I was flying to Hawaii and I had a sore ear. So I just went to get that checked out. And then the doctor asked me at the time, about my fertility. And I just mentioned that I was trying for a baby. And then she asked me if I wanted to get some tests done. And I said, sure. And then the next thing I know, I was sitting in an IVF clinic. I wasn't even thinking about IVF. Didn't even think I had a problem. And yet there I was sitting in an IVF clinic. And that was the beginning of really what came to about 3 years of me going on a mission to try to find out, why I wasn't getting pregnant. Because I had all the tests done and there was nothing wrong with me, according to the doctor. But his advice was to, that he gave me some awful statistics about my ability to get pregnant, which was like less than 5% or something ridiculous. And then he basically told me that my only hope of having a baby would be to do IVF. And then I better hurry up because my 40th birthday was coming. And, once you hit 40, it's like game over. So, so I went from, tests in an office to that, basically. And then that started my mission of like years and years and years of trying to really prove him wrong and find a way to get pregnant anyway and get answers myself. And that's exactly what happened. And I ended up having 2 children, my 2 kids in my 40s, naturally, after trying so many different things.
It's funny how we can get peer pressured, isn't it, by the medical system, even though our intuition said something else.
Yes.
And so how do you think your intuition guided you to make that decision that you wanted to go the healthy route?
Well, look, ever since I was a kid, I've been really interested in this stuff. I've been reading labels on food since I was a kid. So I've always been drawn to nutrition and like how the body works, always been fascinated by that. And, so that's just kind of how I'm wired, I guess.
Mm.
So for me, it was like an opportunity to delve into all of that, which I was interested in anyway. So, all the nutrition stuff and then the supplements, of course. And then you've got all the alternative therapies as well, like the Chinese medicine and the different diets and then all the things like qigong and energy healing. I mean, I literally tried everything to get pregnant. I was like on a mission.
And that mission turned into
like a real mission, my life purpose of a mission.
And isn't it
Yeah,
funny how our adversity and our experience can turn into that mission?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't realize that. Of course, you don't realize that when you're going through it, really, do you? It's such a devastating thing to experience. And now it's actually why I do what I do.
And just going back to your beautiful children, Zara and Ethan, I believe.
Yes.
And so when they came into the world, how did that make you feel that you had done that all naturally?
I was just ecstatic to actually be, to be pregnant. For Ethan, it took like 3.5 years to get pregnant. It really did. 3.5 years of me trying so many different things. And at that point, I probably wouldn't have cared if it was like IVF or natural. I just wanted to have that baby. And I would have done absolutely everything to get there, to get to that point. But it was such a lovely feeling back though, being able to go back to that a-hole doctor and like, well, you know what? I remember at one point, I did tell the doctor that I wanted to try it naturally, and he practically laughed in my face. He's like, he practically laughed in my face and said, "What are you going to do? Take herbs?" Like laughing at me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was actually really good feeling knowing that I did it despite you saying that I couldn't, kind of thing.
And that's such an
Yeah.
important thing to mention here,
Yeah.
is that the doctors, they don't all have the authority over us, right? They don't know exactly what's best for our health. And you're able to go in there empowered and tell them. It kind of reminds me of that Julia Roberts moment in Pretty Woman, when she goes back in the shop.
Yes.
As if she's got her rich man and she's all like
Exactly.
It kind of feels like the FU moment, right?
And it's like FU, I did get pregnant.
Yeah.
With herbs, other things.
So then tell me,
Yes.
how did you then get pregnant naturally? And I know this is the basis for your business.
Yes.
And the reason I'm so excited about having you on is because giving the gift of life, I would say, is just one of the most amazing, extraordinary things that you can give your clients. And to get that news, like, I'm pregnant after having so many challenges with the medical world.
Yes.
So what did you do, first of all? Because I just want to get into all the, the juicy bit.
Well, gosh, as I said, I tried. I was like a human guinea pig. So I tried
Right.
so many different things to try to get pregnant. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours Googling and reading like so many books on fertility and Chinese medicine and everything I could get my hands on. And then I was experimenting on myself. I was trying different things. I was doing different supplements and trying different diets. So at the time, fertility coaches didn't really exist back then. And so I didn't really have any support at the time. It was just me. And of course, the doctors, Western medicine couldn't do anything because they said it was unexplained. Their only solution was IVF. So I didn't want to do that. And so it was really kind of left to me to figure it out, basically, which is what I did. And I did not stop. I did not want to stop until I had that baby in my arms. So what I did is I ended up really getting into Chinese medicine at the time because it really made sense to me. The fact was the only thing that sort of explained, that treated the body as a whole thing, not just like, the Western medicine, which is just treating the symptoms. So I really dived into that. I ended up seeing this Chinese medicine doctor that could barely speak a word of English, and seeing her and going there and really getting into Chinese medicine the way I was eating the right way for my kidney yang deficiency and whatever else it was that I had. And so I ended up seeing her, and she gave me the most disgusting. I ended up taking the most disgusting things. I remember I was taking like ground deer placenta at one point.
Ooh.
Foul. Absolutely. I'll never forget the taste of it.
How long
But
did you have to take that
but
for?
well, that I would have just I saw her for about 6 months, but I tell you what, Beck, I would have done just about I would have taken just about anything. If you said to me,
Right.
"Okay, actually, here's some dog poo," I probably would have taken it if I'd known that I was gonna get a baby out of it. Yes.
Yummy.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah. I know, I can imagine the desperation. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, you just wanna take anything.
So, anyway, I saw this woman and I ended up getting pregnant through that, and so
Yay, yay.
yay! I know. I was just finally able to experience being pregnant. But the thing is, Beck, but then the second time around when tried again with Sarah, I went back to her, right, and did the same thing, but it didn't work the
Right.
second time around. So then,
Interesting.
yes. So I thought that was a solution. I was like, great, Chinese medicine, all of my problems are solved. I'm good. Here we are. But I went back and no, it wasn't the case. So yeah, so then I ended up having to go, here I am back at square one again. And that was not a nice place to be. But then I came across new information and I came across the information that I use now, that I implemented then and that I use now. And that has really been a secret to my success, kind of moving forward with my clients and my success with Zara as well.
And that calls for another one. Because you've got 2 beautiful children.
Yes. So Ethan came a month before my 41st birthday and Zara when I was 43.
That is so exciting to know that you went down that path of holistic health with the Chinese practitioner. And unfortunately, it didn't work the second time. And as you say, you kind of then explored other avenues. But from my understanding is that when things don't work the second time, it could just be for a multitude of reasons. It was actually meant for you to find other things and then you can put it into your program, which we can talk about now.
Yeah.
Because you've literally turned your whole journey into a beautiful business. What's the business called?
Yeah. So it's called Fertility with Aysha. And I run a program called the Nourish Your Fertility Method.
And is it your method?
Yes, it is.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
trademarked?
No.
We don't want to give too much away.
No, I'm happy to talk about it.
When did this start? So let's rewind back a bit. When did this get started? And let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah. So I ended up taking some time off work. I was working in the medical field, in the corporate world. And I decided to take some time off so I could actually enjoy these babies that were so hard won. And so I had some time off work. And then while I was doing that, I had 5 years off. And during that time, I realized that I didn't want to go back into the corporate field. And I was helping people unofficially. And then I just decided that, well, maybe I should try to figure out how I can do this for a living, really.
Okay.
And that's when I started to that's when I decided to retrain. And because I already have a medical background, so I trained as an RN years ago. So that was really helpful, having that. Plus I did a integrated nutrition course and I did another program that is more about the emotional impact and the mind-body connection on fertility as well. So I was able to retrain and then put out my signature program, which is, the Nourish Your Fertility Method. And it's the method that I use to help women over 35 get and stay pregnant without IVF.
Amazing. I actually think we need to do a popper for that one.
Yay!
I don't know why I like the smell of these.
Yeah.
Probably bad for you. Not that they weren't prepared earlier or anything.
You just happen to have them lying around your desk.
How long ago did you set up the program?
It's coming up to the 4th year now of running it.
4th year.
Yeah.
And I'm so interested about this because apart from yourself being a testimonial, how do you get your first clients on board to trust in you? Because these women, I'm assuming, are coming to you after trying so many different avenues.
Yes.
They've been told by their doctors you've got all these medical problems, or you can't fall pregnant naturally, or you can do IVF, and then they go and do IVF and it doesn't work. And I've met some of these women before, and it's so heartbreaking to see these women so desperate because they just want to be a mother.
Yes.
And I get it because I was like that. And just to share a quick thing about myself is that when I met my husband, we were trying and we were told that we would have to go the IVF route. And I think there was like something wrong with the sperm. But anyway, we were told that. And then we fell pregnant naturally 3 times. And I miscarried the first one. But if we'd listened to them, then we'd have spent all this money and all this time going IVF, but we actually fell pregnant naturally. And 2 beautiful boys later, and look at the different routes we could have gone on, right?
I'm sorry to hear about the miscarriage. I didn't realize that you had
Well,
that.
it's so common. Miscarriage is so common. I don't know if you know the stats.
No, I don't know what the latest stats are, but I know a lot of the women that I work with have experienced miscarriage because I work with women between the ages of 35 and 50.
Well, I had my first miscarriage about 32, I think. And I heard, and don't quote me on this, is that it's quite common to miscarry your first because of any toxins that you've got in your system. It's like it clears it out. I don't know if that's a rumor. I don't know where I even read or heard that, but I think it was my pediatrician at the time said it's so common. And because of your heavy toxic load from, as we know, from everything, water, air, the toxic world we live in, and even like my amalgam fillings, I didn't know have an impact on the fetus. So going back to your program. So if I was coming to you, what's your elevator pitch as such?
So it's a groundbreaking mind, body, spirit approach to getting pregnant naturally. And what we do is we look at the root causes of, why you're having issues in the first place and address those things. So it's really all about getting answers as to why it's not happening and addressing those things in a way where you're feeling emotionally supported and having help with your mindset and confidence as well, because a huge part of it is really the physical side of things, because we don't get any answers as to why this isn't happening, why we're not getting pregnant. But it's also really about having the emotional support you need, because it does take such an emotional toll on you not being able to conceive and feeling all the feelings that come along with that. And also help with our confidence, because it can really affect your self-esteem. And there's so much fear thrown at us when you're over 35. There's so much fear. Everywhere you look, it's like, oh my gosh, your fertility falls off a cliff when you're 35, which is a load of crap.
It is, yeah.
So it's groundbreaking because a lot of other approaches don't address those 3 really important areas. And that's what we need as women when we're getting pregnant, when we're going through this, because it's not, conception is not just about putting an egg and sperm together. It's about, we're bringing a soul into the world at the end of the day.
I love that. We are indeed. And apparently they choose their parents, these souls.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I've been reading some really interesting books. There's one called Cosmic Cradle.
Wow.
Cosmic Cradle, I think
I've
it's
never
called.
heard of that one, actually.
Yeah, and it's fascinating. So it talks about exactly that. So babies having memories of being in the womb and them remembering that of them being in the womb, but they also remember before they got in the womb. And they interview, and it's from children who are having conversations about this.
I love it.
And telling their parents, well, I saw you getting married, or I chose you, mummy, because of this, or, really interesting. It's really fascinating reading. So
I bet it is. I really want to put that on my list. It reminds me of when I read the book Your Soul's Plan by I think it's Robert Schwartz. So for those that are watching or listening, we'll make sure that we put all the book recommendations into the blurb underneath. How much spirituality do you bring into the program?
Look, my program is for anybody. It doesn't matter kind of what religion you are. I have women who are Muslim, I have women who are, devout Christians, people who don't believe in anything, and all of that is fine. So there's no real sort of doctrination as such, or no real sort of spiritual teachings as such. That doesn't happen. But what it is, it's more about the spiritual side is really about learning to have faith in something that is bigger than you, whatever that is for you, whether it be God, the universe, source, some benevolent force out there, and having faith in that and trust in that, and also just being able to surrender to this journey that we are faced with, to be like, well, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm taking all the things, I'm healing my mind, body, and spirit. And there's really only so much you can do with that until you need to surrender, because we're not in control. We are as much as, and it can be a shock because, we like to think that we're in control, but when it comes to having a baby, you really do feel it is a feeling of being out of control. So spirituality part of that really helps with that part of it as well. That kind of scary unknown of is this even going to happen to me? Am I going to be a mother, or when is it going to happen? It's really that side of things that I help women to kind of wrap their head around, and so they're able to accept where they're at, not give up, but accept where they're at. And it helps you to be in a place to be able to receive as well, because conceiving is about receiving.
Since you've launched the program, how many people have been interested in what you're doing and have either joined your Facebook group, or I'm assuming you have one of those, or joined your newsletter? And are they sort of nervous about starting a program because they've gone through so much already? Where are they at mentally, these women that find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the women who come to me for help, generally speaking, they have tried a lot of different things. So I have women so about 50% of my women have never had a baby, 50% have had a baby and are struggling with number 2 or number 3. And so a lot of the women who have come to me for help have either been through all the medical route and not gotten anywhere. So they've either done all the rounds of IVF and not had any success, or they've done the fertility medications. And I see a lot of that going on. A lot of them have been chewed up and spat out by the medical industry.
Yeah.
And left in a much worse state than they were going in, unfortunately. And then, so I deal with those people. And of course, they can be a little bit skeptical too, because they're thinking, well, the medical system didn't work. Then what, how is your program going to work? But then I also work with women who've tried everything naturally.
Okay.
So they've done, they've done the fertility yoga and the Chinese medicine, the acupuncture and the pastoral packs and all the supplements. So all the women that come to me are highly skeptical of my program. But that's okay, because I would, I would be too. I was skeptical as well.
Dealing with the skeptics.
Yes. So I kind of am for the skeptics, really. Yeah. I don't just work with anyone who is just turned 35 and can't get and wants to try to get pregnant. I only work with women who've been struggling. So women who have got, low AMH or poor egg quality or endometriosis, PCOS, tubal issues, hormonal issues, not ovulating. Only women who have been struggling, because that's where my expertise lies.
Well, that takes courage, can I say? That's like the hard basket for many people,
It is. And it's funny because most of the women that I have in my program, their doctors have written them off. The doctors have told them that just forget it. You're too old. Your eggs are too old. You've only got 2% chance of happening. Some of my success stories have been told that they can't have children altogether, and then they get pregnant.
And they get pregnant?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I've only got one left, but I don't know what to save it for. But you helping women get pregnant after they've been told there's no hope.
Yes.
That definitely deserves another one.
Yay. Yeah, no, it is incredible when you think about it.
And for those listening, that is another party popper. It just makes my heart sing. And I just think that is the greatest gift, to be able to give that to someone. And when that happens, what's their announcements like to you? Do you have this wall, a trophy wall of baby pregnancies, or what? What do they say to you in their messages? They're
usually in shock. They're usually in shock. It's a message of shock. So I usually get the pea stick pictures sent to me.
Yes.
Yeah, the pregnancy
I've even kept mine. Yeah. We all seem to keep them as well, right?
I live for this. That's why I do this. There's nothing that makes me more euphoric than one of my clients telling me that they are pregnant. And I got one the other day in the car park, and I literally I was breaking out into dance in the car park of IGA. I was like, I'd seen that. My kids think I'm nuts, but I don't care. And it keeps me going for days and weeks. Just the thought of it. It is just, yes, I'm so excited. And I'll just give you a recent one that's pretty amazing. So one of my ladies, she's 38, and she came to me because she's been trying to conceive for 2 years. And she had been struggling. She'd been on fertility medications. They hadn't worked. She'd had miscarriage. She'd had heavy periods, painful periods. And she went to the fertility specialist, and she found out that one of her fallopian tubes was blocked. And then on the other side, the working side, she had no follicles in her ovaries.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So that's a pretty damning
It is.
prognosis, right? To
Yeah.
have that. And so the doctor basically told her that she was just days away from menopause. Talk about putting the fear into somebody, right?
Yeah.
You're days away from menopause, and the only option that you have to get pregnant is to have IVF. But you better hurry up because menopause is about to hit you. Like, that was her choice.
Well, just on that note, just quickly, because I
Yes.
think it's important for people to hear, is that what's been going on lately with people getting cancers and things like that, they'll go to the doctor and they'll say, it's terminal, you've got a few months to live. And then you actually believe it. And then it's your
Yes.
belief then that turns it into reality, because
Yes.
the belief's so powerful, right?
Yeah,
And so their
absolutely.
belief around, if you're saying,
Yes.
yeah, you're going to go through menopause, you're not going to have a baby, then your
Yes.
actually body would manifest that.
Yes,
So we
because
need
of
to
the
stop
mind-body
telling
connection.
people, we need to stop telling
Yes.
people that these authority figures, they don't know you and they're actually giving you a death sentence, and it's just horrific.
It is. And the problem is we've been programmed from birth to just trust these authority figures, and that they're like God. And you can't say anything because you're not an expert, but the doctor's an expert. Like,
They're an
she can't
expert on
question
you and your
anything.
children, apparently. And like,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a system that's needs to break down and be revitalized for sure.
Yeah, totally. And I hear this all the time from the women that come to see me in the comments that they're told. It's just like shocking. It's really shocking. So anyway, back to Rachel. So she came to me for help because she wanted to, try to improve her reproductive health naturally and improve her, which is what I specialize in, helping women improve their reproductive health and equality, and really get some emotional support with this too, because she was absolutely devastated when she'd been trying a lot of things too herself to try to get pregnant, been on all the supplements and trying to eat healthy and cutting out sugar and blah, 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 that stuff. So anyway, she came to work with me and she followed my program for 2 months. My program goes for 3 months.
Okay.
And she is now pregnant naturally.
Like,
I know. After being told that she's only got one fallopian tube working with no follicles in the ovary.
you're like a baby maker, magical,
Yes.
extraordinaire wizardess, whatever that is. Wow. And I don't even have any party poppers left. That's
pretty
incredible.
amazing,
And
isn't it?
do you remember what her announcement to you was?
Shock. I was just shocked.
Was it like, did she call you? Did she text message you?
No, she's in America, so I just get the message. Sometimes I do call a lot of women if they're in Australia and they're available. Of course, I do. I love that. But
so you're international. You're not just Australia. We should point that out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm international. So my business is online. So I work with women all around the world, mainly the UK, Australia, and the US. But I do have a client at the moment who's in Germany. So all around the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It is. I'm actually quite.
It's so rewarding. It really is, Beck.
Would be. Like, I can't even think of another job where your clients would benefit so much than having a baby. Like, it's you helping them, the system, after they've gone through so much trauma. And it is trauma going through that system.
Oh, yeah. My ladies have been through so much.
And you're dealing with all those layers of trauma and stress and disappointment. And then you come along with your fairy magic. Which isn't. I know I'm probably minimizing it. I'm sure there's so much work that's gone into your program, and there's a
lot that they need to do.
There's so much that they need to do and take empowerment for, but to actually empower them to do that for themselves, because it is their journey, right? They need to take your tools and your strategies and then go away and actually implement them. But how rewarding. And so then congratulations if Rachel is listening. So, and congratulations to all your clients for that. That is just phenomenal. What about when they actually give birth and the baby announcement?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I get lots of gorgeous little chubby, gorgeous little faces sent to me too. Yeah.
Have any of them called them after you yet? You need to start a trend. We might see a trend in like 10 years with lots of Aysha becoming the number one baby name.
Like Rumpelstiltskin.
That's Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, it's like a fairy. Have you heard of a fairy tale?
How does that relate?
Because in one of the fairy tales, he makes the queen promise that the princess is called Rumpelstiltskin. I think it's like call them after. And she doesn't, and so there's consequences. Anyway, we've gone off.
No, it's fine. I like hearing this. This is all part of the podcast. We go off in different tangents and directions, and that's all good because it's all authentic and real, and that's what we want to keep it at. I just want to actually share a personal story on that note. which has got a sad element, but I think it's important to share how important your work is. When I got married in 2011, um, there was a couple at my wedding, and when I saw her again in 2013, I was pregnant with my eldest. And, well, no, it would have been 2012 actually when I went over. And the year after, maybe 6 months after seeing her there, she committed suicide because she couldn't fall pregnant. And
Oh,
it's so important to so many women when they've dreamt about this moment. And that was sad enough. But the husband then unfortunately committed suicide
oh
a
my
couple
god,
of years after that. So we lost a beautiful
gosh.
couple. Oh my God, I'm
Oh,
feeling quite emotional.
devastating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they couldn't fall pregnant.
yeah, yeah. And it is yes, and when you've been there, when you've all you want is a little baby and you
Yeah,
can't have one, it is absolutely devastating. It is. I mean, when I hear all of my ladies, it gets you in the heart. It's actually
it
really
does.
heartbreaking. And at one point I was at my lowest too. I was just thinking, well, it's awful because that's all you're yearning for, and everyone around you is falling pregnant.
Yeah,
Everybody is pregnant around you, and it's just and so, yeah, you just think, "Well, why me? Like, what am I broken? Like, what's
yeah,
wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why can't I do this and all the other women can?" And, yeah, I remember being in really having very dark moments about that, and I remember when on my journey, I lost my light and I lost my joy. I wasn't this version of me that you see now. I wasn't. I was, a very different version of me because I was grieving. You
you
grieve.
grieve. Yeah. I shouldn't just wanna move through the emotions, but it's like, I I felt like there was a part of me that felt guilty because it felt like because she'd seen me pregnant, and
Right.
it might have even
I
been
s
quite soon after that,
Oh, right. So you thought,
and I
yes.
thought that I may have been one of the triggers, and it was just so I was really
Uh,
sad that
uh,
in case I was, and there's no way of
yeah.
knowing, and you can't take that on anyway
No.
because it's their life, and we all our souls also contract our exit points, and so, we
Yes.
do leave this planet to, move on back home and have be here for lessons that we may have learned. So obviously they contracted a lot of their experiences, and I can't take on that guilt, but there was an
No.
element during that time where it
And
was
it
like, "Oh my gosh," and then when the husband went too, it was, really, really sad, but yeah, I hope they're up there in creating their own type of babies
oh,
and angels.
yes, yes.
So thank you for carrying that.
Uh,
I got a bit emotional there.
no, it's such an emotional journey, it really is, and that's why I have a support group. I have a free support group for women who are experiencing any of these grief or any of these other emotions around that to get support from not just from me, but from other women. There's around 7,000 women in that group. Right now, it's a free Facebook group for women who
Beautiful.
anyone can join.
We'll
And that,
link in the copy, yeah.
yeah. And so if you're struggling with that, please do not struggle alone.
Mm,
Come and join my free Facebook group and get some support there. And then obviously, if you want to speak to me as well to get some help, we can do that too. If anyone's watching this and feeling similar feelings about
it's so
pregnant.
important to get the help. So you could also be saving lives as well as giving life,
Well,
and
funny
that's so
that, like,
important.
in a way, I am sort of saving life in a way with the work that I do because it's not just about having conceiving, it's also about having healthy babies and bringing healthy babies into the world, right? Because what a lot of women don't realize is that the time our baby's health blueprint is determined in the time before you conceive.
Mm, a topic close to my heart.
Yes, right? Because by 8 weeks, the baby's organs have already formed. The heart's already formed, the lungs, it's already formed. So, it's not so much what happens in the pregnancy. Of course, there's things that are not great to do in pregnancy, but it's not so much that. It's the lead up to that.
Mm.
And a lot of women aren't aware of that. And this is where we can really, this is why working with a program like mine is amazing, because you're not just getting pregnant, but you're also helping to, potentially remove all those health issues that a lot of children are facing now, because a lot of kids are being born not healthy now in this day and age, unfortunately, sadly, with all sorts of health conditions going on. Yes, as we
Yeah,
know.
even just with ADHD and autism, like the rates are just horrendous.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's getting worse, not better.
Mhm.
And there's so many factors that I won't go into, because obviously this is my passion with the whole ADHD, autism problem that we've got going on, and then also how we're treating it. And so, but
Yes.
there's so many correlations with what you're doing, what I'm doing, and what anyone who in the health space, I guess in the holistic health space, is trying to point out, right?
Yes.
There's so much more to health than we realize.
Yes.
And as you say, the soul, the body, the mind, the connection is so important.
Yes.
And we need to be looking at it holistically, and our
Yes.
children holistically. And we want to prevent it even getting to the point of,
Yes.
when my story does come out, it's really sad that a lot of other issues come from that. And so what you're doing is even more important from a preparation point of view.
Yes. Yes.
And not many people know that. It's so
Yeah,
important.
because it's about reducing the risk of miscarriage. That is something that you can do. You can reduce the risk of having a miscarriage through what you do before you conceive. And also, yes, reduce the risk of things like ADHD and other and autism and those kinds of issues. And the way that we do that in the program, there's a lot of different ways that we do it, but one of the big things is through detox, getting rid of toxins like toxic heavy metals that are responsible for things like ADHD and autism and miscarriage as well. Mercury is like one of the most toxic poisons known to man. And
And I've
a
gotten
lot of
so
us are
many in my
dealing.
tea.
Yes,
I
a lot
watched
of
a
us are dealing
doco on
with
it
it.
actually, and
Yes.
I don't even remember having most of my fillings. It must have been when I was young,
Yes.
and I must have eaten so much rubbish. But I actually went to the dentist after 5 years recently. The first time I went to a holistic dentist,
Oh, yeah.
and it was the first dentist that actually told me to get them out. I've mentioned it to other dentists before, like the
Yes.
NIB ones and the ones you get for free
No.
in your healthcare. And I've mentioned, I said, are these affecting my health? No, they're absolutely safe. We wouldn't put them in if they were not safe. And this holistic dentist said, yes, get them out. And then she just gave me this long list of all the things I needed to get done with it, and then a bill of 50 pounds. And I was like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
remember thinking, why didn't my mom give me more dentist kind of dental health knowledge and education? Because
There
I would
wasn't
have
any back
treated my
then.
teeth differently so much. I've
Yeah.
got crooked teeth at the bottom. I think I've got 8, 9, 10. I don't know how many fillings. I didn't even want to count.
Yeah.
And most of them are amalgam. And yeah, the way that it can affect your health.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is these days that, one of the big things that the reasons why people have such weak teeth and bones is because of the huge amounts of caffeine that they're drinking and the vinegars as well. So what happens is, over time, our teeth start to have teeth issues. We have osteoporosis. And people don't realize that they're just blaming it all on genetics or they've eaten too much sugar. No, it's not about that. It's our diets that are too high in acidic things, alcohol as well. This is a real problem with teeth.
I only found out, I haven't really delved into it, but there's a lady called Barbara O'Neill. Have you heard of her?
Yes, I love Barbara. Yes, I listened to her.
Well, she got kicked out the country because apparently she was spouting too many conspiracies or things that weren't true. And if I've learned anything on this journey, if in Wikipedia, it basically tries to defame someone and say they're a conspiracy theorist, so I go, they're telling the truth. So here's an announcement for you. If you see anything on Wikipedia,
or fact check, anything that's being fact checked.
Anything that's being fact checked, it's the truth.
Anything that's being censored.
So anyway,
because they don't want you to know about it.
I appreciate you sharing that. And in terms of, we went off there on the dentist thing, but any toxins from the water, the air, right? There's just so many ways that that we don't realize we are having toxins in our body, which then
Yes.
creates these challenges.
Yes.
And by the sounds of it, it's part of your program to help people
Yes.
recognize that, which is
Absolutely.
really exciting.
Yeah. And not only that, I think, yes, that's really exciting. But one of the most exciting parts of my program, and it's why women come to me when no one else has been able to help them, is because of some of the information that I use is from Anthony William. So basically, he's a phenomenon. He's written 8 textbooks about chronic illness, healing chronic illness. And so his root cause information is just groundbreaking, because when women have health issues, we don't get any answers from the medical community. So we're told that the reason why you're not getting pregnant is because you have old eggs, because you're too old, basically, which is nonsense. And that we go to the doctor, and most women have something going on, have some type of abnormal growth going on in their uteruses, right? People are walking around with fibroids, endometriosis, whether they know about it or not. We've all got some sort of cyst going on. Almost every single woman has got something going on, right? And we go to the doctor, and the doctors look at it, and they look at it, and they look at the lumps, and you say, well, what's causing it? And they say, we don't know. And they say, and the solution is to actually get them removed surgically, or just to, oh, don't worry about it. It's normal for women to have it. It's like, what do you mean it's normal? What do you mean? Like, how is that okay for us to all be walking around with these abnormal growths going on in our uteruses? And that is not okay, right? That is not okay,
It's
right?
not
So,
okay.
no. And so I was able to come across, by stumbling across Anthony Williams' information, his root cause information, and, you know, um, incredible information about how the actual body works. And so we've got answers as to what's really causing things like fibroids and endometriosis, and then plans to address those things. And I think that's one of the things that makes my program so effective, is that we're actually finally treating the root cause, why they're having issues in the first place.
Beautiful. And I'm just thinking there, like, what other things can you do for them, for their health and their education and their spirituality and their relationships? And
Yes.
isn't it a knock-on effect, like a ripple effect to everyone
Yes.
that they know by being empowered with that information?
Yeah, absolutely. Because just getting answers is life changing, right? Because then it changes your mindset, it changes everything. But when women work with me before the baby comes, there's also so much transformation and shifts that happen with them. Physically, there's a lot, things like, weight loss, if people need to use it, having more energy, um, their cycles, issues with cycles like painful periods clearing up, hormonal issues kind of clearing up, things like cervical fluid, and appearing when it wasn't there before, and all these really people being able to sleep better, and all these incredible life-changing things that happen anyway. And then from a mindset perspective, yes, just like finally not being so stressed about this, not living in fear anymore. And that is the stuff that's really transformative as well. And that's what women need. It's that much more transformational rather than the transactional approach with the medical community. It's like a transaction, right?
Yes.
Versus transformation.
I like
And that's
that.
what's really
Yeah, I like
exciting
that
about
distinction.
this. Mhm. And this is what I would like to see for all women in time. Yes,
Oh my
that
God.
is my
When you were
vision.
saying that, I had so many ideas pop into my mind of where I wanted
Yeah.
to go with it. I was like, oh, how long do we have? I don't even want to look at the
Yes.
time. Well, I guess the first thing is in terms of your clients, you call them clients,
Yeah.
when they don't feel pregnant, because obviously you're not going to be able to help every single woman that comes your way,
Yes.
unfortunately. They leave with these benefits, but how do they feel about still having a baby? Like, has that changed at all? Or
What
like,
do you mean? What do you mean?
so they come to you to have a baby, and then if
Yes.
the program doesn't work as they
Yes.
wanted to, but it gives them other benefits,
Yes.
what do they do then? Are they more empowered to kind of surrender to the process, and do they kind of give up, or do they go the medical route?
Well, everybody's different. Everybody's
Yeah.
coming into the program with different levels and different experiences. And, of course, I can't guarantee success for everybody. Nobody can do that. But what I do is when we work together, I'm setting them up for success in those 3 months. And sometimes women get pregnant in the 3 months, but often it can take longer than that, especially if we're working on healing some really deep-seated things that they've been dealing with for years as well. So that can take longer. So It's the sort of program where the longer you do it, the better it is for your baby's health, your future baby's health. So when women leave my program, they end up feeling really good. They are, they know that things have changed. They know that their fertility is improving because they've had so many incredible signs and things, improvements with their health and their menstrual cycle. And mentally, they're feeling really motivated, really accepting that, you know what, I'm, you know, I'm surrendering to this process. I'm just going to keep taking inspired action, making the choices that are based on excitement and being on the right path rather than ones being made out of fear. So they continue with their journey, basically. And some of them keep in touch and let me know that they have babies. Some don't, and that's okay. You know, I'm kind of in this specific time frame, these 3 months with them. But of course, women can work with they need to as well.
How many are there of you? Do you know? Do you know if there's quite a few of you? Is it an emerging business idea? Like
fertility coaches?
Yes.
Like me? Yeah, look, it is a new profession, the whole fertility coaching thing. And there's some really wonderful women out there, some incredible women. I don't view them as competition. I view them as colleagues.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and there's incredible women, but I find that we all sort of do our own different thing in our own different way. There's some fertility coaches that just deal with mindset. And there's some that just deal with the spiritual side. My approach is quite unique because I do the mind, body, and spirit all together as well. I think I'm the only one that's using some Anthony Williams protocols as well. And in my program, I think that's unique to me.
Do you use anybody else that we may have heard of?
Oh, yeah. There's all sorts of incredible information in my program from all sorts of different sources. And I'm still adding to that, actually. Right now, I'm working on putting in some incredible things to help reprogram the subconscious mind as well, and working on that aspect of things. Because we're so terrified of being pregnant that we're on contraception for years and years and years and years, right? So we're sending that message to our bodies. I don't want to get a baby. No, I don't want a baby. I don't want a baby. I don't want a baby, right? And then that gets put in our subconscious mind, and then it doesn't just easily flip for some women too. So I'm adding these amazing components to my program now where women can really work on reprogramming that negative programming that might be running in the back and might be affecting our ability to get pregnant on a mind-body level.
I can see why they would need that, yeah.
So there's all these negative, insidious beliefs that can be really there, like stopping women from getting pregnant. So that's the next thing, the piece of the puzzle to make my program even more powerful for women.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can imagine if I spoke to you in like 10 years' time, how different it might be in terms of new knowledge that you have, because I think that's really important that as we evolve as human beings, that we add new knowledge in. And we can't just say this program I'm going to release is going to be the same in 10 years. And
no. It's changing all the time as I change. You're right.
And it's so important to do that. So
yeah. And that's the opposite to the medical community. I mean, the medical community takes 20 years for something new to be introduced. Like it's completely.
They're good people in the sense that they spend all this money on this training and years, and they want to help people. You know, their mission is to help people, and it's like, do they not realize that what they're learning? How do I put this? I'm so passionate about this because it's ruining people's lives. You know, it's not. It's permeating through so many areas of health, and not just what you're doing with fertility, but everything.
Yeah,
and it's destroying lives. That's all I can say on that. I will not continue.
Yeah.
I will not get on my soapbox.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful, great altruistic people that work in the medical profession, and I did. And my mum's a nurse, and there's wonderful people in it, but it's the industry.
It's the industry,
the problem.
We should point that out because there's holistic practitioners out there, holistic ones that, you know, they are doctors and pediatricians. They're few and far between.
Yes.
In fact, I've got a list of them on my website. But it's, you know, naturopaths are great, people like yourself, and homeopaths as well. And there's some great practitioners. This isn't going to be like, oh no, where do we go? There is so many people out there that want to help, but they've got more of a big picture view. They're not either sponsored by pharmaceutical or they're independent.
Indoctrinated.
Or they haven't been indoctrinated. And it's shifting now. I do
Yeah.
feel the
Oh,
shift
yeah.
happening, and it's exciting what's going to happen the next few years. It
Absolutely.
really is.
Yeah.
What's your vision then for the business? Like, where do you want to take this? Because
Oh,
there's only
look.
one of you. How I feel like I need to clone you multiple times. Where's your vision for it?
Yeah, look, I look, it's definitely going to expand and get bigger. I want to have as much impact as possible. So, yeah, what will happen is I will expand my team. I will and be able to deal with more, deal with a lot more clients eventually. And I think I'll just kind of grow as we go along. It's more about having the right types of people to work with. I think that's really important, finding the right people
Mm,
who have the right expertise to help you grow. And I've come across some really wonderful people already that I'm working with now. So I think when that time happens, I will just be able to kind of roll with it. But I am quite ambitious. I do want this way of dealing with women's health issues and fertilities to become mainstream.
mm.
So
It
instead
needs it.
to become the norm. So at the moment, the norm is going to the IVF clinic and getting the scared out of you and getting pressured into doing IVF when you probably don't even need it. That's the norm. Whereas I want this approach to be a norm, that in getting to the root causes of the issues with having the support with a mind, body, and spirit as well.
Mm.
That's my vision. It's my big vision. And I hope it happens in my lifetime. I really do. And I hope
It
that
will. I
a
have
big
a
part of
great
that. I'm a big
feeling
part of
about
that.
it. It will. You
Yeah.
might, yeah, watch this space, guys. It will happen. We do
Mhm.
want to say though, the IVF route does give many families their babies, and
Oh,
so
yes.
we
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're pointing out that
Yeah.
they
I'm
can
not
help. It's
I'm
just
not
an
anti.
expensive and stressful
Yes.
way of
Not anti.
doing it when there are other ways that benefit you
Exactly.
holistically and don't
Exactly.
cost hundreds, whatever the people are paying nowadays.
So my US client saved herself $50,000 by coming
Right.
to work with me.
Yeah. So we want to
Yeah.
say there are other
1,000.
ways. If you choose to
Yes.
go IVF and you have done and it's given you the most beautiful baby, then
Oh, yeah.
great. Great.
I'm not anti-IVF,
Yeah.
just to clarify that. I know it sometimes I come across like I am, but I'm not because, again, I think it is a great and some women need it, and I have a lot of friends who have IVF babies, and that's fine. But what I am against is it being women thinking that it's an only resort, it's their first resort. That is the
It's a good
problem that I have.
distinction then.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first resort. If it's a last resort or if it feels like that's the path that you need to go on, it feels right for you and you're excited about it and you've exhausted other opportunities, of course, go for IVF.
Mm.
But if you're just going to the doctors and and they're just telling you that doing the baseline tests and not doing anything else, then seek other opinions.
I think that's a really great point, and I think it's that fear element that you've mentioned a couple of
Yes.
times that they bring through,
Oh, yeah.
and it feels a bit like, "Give me the money?" It's like, you
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like,
Yeah.
"There's no other way. This is the only way.
Yes.
Give me the
Yes.
money and I help you."
Yes.
Instead of going, "Well, have you tried this
Yeah.
Aysha fertility coach
Mhm.
first?"
Yes.
There's always a place for all of these modalities.
Yes.
It's just the way that it's delivered that I have an issue with.
And that's why it is a multi-billion-dollar industry
Mhm.
based on fear. Yeah, there's a
But
lot
we're
to
gonna
say about
bring the
it.
love. We're bringing the love through, as you can see above me. This is a made with love production, just like the doco and the book. And you're also helping the future leaders, the change makers, the light workers, the people that are going to really help move this planet forward. And I will always be a Pollyanna, even through everything I've gone through, I will always look on the bright side and think positively about the world and the people in it. And God, I'm going to get all sentimental now. I won't. I think that's a beautiful way to end. I didn't even want to end. I've had so much fun. Um, I guess I want to sort of say, obviously, a big thank you to you for sharing so vulnerably as well your story and for telling me about your work and your vision. And I definitely feel it's can happen. I actually drafted like one question to ask at the end. Imagine you're 80 years old,
Mhm.
looking back at your life, your vision has come to life. What would you say were the 3 key factors that helped bring your vision to fruition?
Well, I think it's just maybe persistence,
Mhm.
courage as well.
Courage to challenge the status quo, which is in my
Challenged.
jingle.
Yes, it's challenging the status quo. And I think it needs to be something that it's more about the cause really and how much we need it and how much it's going to benefit
Mm.
humanity. I think that would probably play a big part in it too. That's sort of out of my hands, but I think that from a higher level perspective, women need help. Women need help, right? So that's what needs to happen.
And that just leads into this news article, actually, before we go. Australia's birth rate hits rock bottom with severe consequences for economic future. This was only written a few weeks ago.
Yes.
In short, Australia's birth rate of 1.50 represents an all-time low. Experts say younger Australians are increasingly concerned about their economic security, and that's influencing their family planning decisions. What do you think to that?
I know in that article they often talk about the socio-economic uh, reasons of why women are having less children, like choosing to have less children. So that article is really about that. But there is a huge, big white elephant in the room with that article, and that is that infertility is on the rise.
Yeah.
Infertility is increasing. So the birth rate is going down, not just because people are choosing not to have babies,
Mm.
it's because they can't, because the infertility rates are getting much larger and larger. I think it's like 1 in 5 women now who are couples who are suffering from fertility issues.
Would we like to comment on what may have happened the last few years to make it worse? We're going down
Yeah,
the wrong highway. I always
I
like to bring things up right at the end to open up a can of worms.
will say on that note that I think things are going to even get worse on that front. So I think, and I hope that I'm wrong, but the way things are going, I really think that it's going to be more close to 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 3
By
moving
when?
forward within the next 20 years. Quickly.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's the prediction based on right now. But what's
Yeah.
coming in the next few years?
Mhm. And
Hopefully, we're going to boost that up. So
oh yeah.
I'm not going to be doom and gloom about that. We are going to end on a positive note and say it's going to happen. There's going to be more of you. There's going
Yes.
to be women taking back their health and empowering
Yes.
themselves.
Yep.
And we're going to have more beautiful babies, souls being
Yes.
born into the world.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we're going to live a much healthier life with the truth and the awareness of what
Mhm.
has been happening.
Yeah.
And I guess that's one positive to come out of it, is that it has woken up a lot of people,
Yes.
and people are then taking back and reclaiming their health.
Exactly. They're
That's
empowering
the
themselves.
exciting part of what's happened the last few years.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Like the veil has been lifted.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of the things that I've been talking about for years are common knowledge now. So things like the effect that toxins and poisons have on your health. And a lot of this knowledge is becoming a lot more mainstream now, and people are starting to push back and question everything, which is really exciting to see.
Yes.
Mhm.
And stop drugging our children. To get that one
Yes.
in. Sorry. This is called Voices or Visionaries. And you are definitely a visionary. In fact, you partly inspired me to do this because of your extraordinary work. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do and for the gift that you bring to humanity.
Oh, thank
Yeah. Get
you.
emotional feeling I'm going to end in a positive.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me and for, caring about this and
I do. I care immensely.
about it. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing everything. Mwah. Sending you love from my soul to your soul. And for those that want to get in touch with Aysha, I'll make sure that all the links and everything at the bottom of the video or the podcast or wherever this is going to go in the world. Who knows? I'm surrendering.
Love it.
All right. Lots of love,
All right.
darling.
Okay.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.